was getting choked up.
Remix.
Remix.
I hope you guys are doing good. It feels like we haven't been here in like a hot second.
Let's start off the show by saying the fact that I feel like I have lived a full life last week. First of all, if you haven't heard already, our area specifically, not where we are located, but very, very close, our neighboring county, Greene County and all of Western North Carolina, I'm sure you all know, desperately, desperately need your prayers. We had unprecedented amounts of rain and a storm from Hurricane Helene here last week, over the weekend.
Some crazy storms. I'm sure y'all are seeing it all over the place, especially if you're from around here. I'm hoping if you all are from around here that you are safe and that your home is secure and none of us suffered any significant losses.
Yes.
We have a family cabin that uprooted itself and floated down the river, but it was not a home.
Right.
So we're very blessed.
So our hearts and minds and prayers go out to all of our neighbors that are affected by this, all of Western North Carolina that was affected by this. And not only that, all the states, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, parts of southwestern Virginia. I mean, it was just a very, very devastating storm in general.
Yeah.
I just feel like our area, we're landlocked states.
Yeah.
We don't prepare for hurricane type rainfall like that. So anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, we are glad to be back. Happy to be here with you guys today.
Yes.
Now, we did have somebody just ask if they, or maybe it was retracted. Never mind. JK.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. Today, we are going to be making some adorable coasters, y'all. These are so stinking cute. First of all, raise your hand if you love sugar cookies, specifically the Pillsbury face sugar cookies. I mean,
I'm a sucker for a theme anyways.
Raw by the dozen.
Raw by the dozen. No need to cook them.
No need to cook them, in my opinion.
You know, now on the, I don't know that they do it on those, but like some of them, it's like safe to eat. And I'm like, thank you, somebody.
Yes.
Somebody out there
knew. I didn't care if they were safe to eat before. I still ate them.
Me neither.
Did not care. I didn't die, so.
No salmonella for me.
Yes. So,
oh my gosh, so funny.
We are going to be making some super, super cute coasters. Now, if you didn't know already, these are Sublimation coasters, and we are running a special on our Makers Gonna Sublimate course. Y'all, we're doing $40 off using code SUBLIMATE. This is gonna get you down to that $127 price,
Dang.
Which is I think that's like the original price we sold it out. So
like
anyway,
before the price went up.
Before the price went up, we don't do this very often. We're just doing it for this week. So if you've thought about sublimation, definitely jump on that, because this is a one-time fee for this course. You get updates for lifetime. You get the course lifetime. It's just one fee. You can do it in 2 payments or you can do it in one. I will say, if for some reason you do it in 2 payments, the full 40% discount is applied to your first payment. So really and truly, you could get started today for $43.
Oh, okay.
If you did it in 2 payments. If you did it in 2 payments. So
I love that.
We are going to be doing those. I did see something that somebody commented that, is this going to be for everybody or just people who sublimate? Y'all, I will give you options if you want me to show you. We'll just go through the designing process together. But this is one, if you wanted to do this and you didn't have sublimation, you could do this with sticker paper and then put it on a coaster and put some
resin
Maker's Magic or resin over top of it. I was thinking Maker's Magic would be a really good, because it's,
for sure,
we love some Maker's Magic. So just because we are sublimating today doesn't mean that this cannot be recreated if you don't sublimate. There are ways around it. There are other ways you could do it. It would also be really cute if you, which I don't know that they have, like circular tile. You know the Christmas tree coaster that we did with water slide decal?
Yes.
That would be cute on like a circular brownish or tan tile to do it on water slide decal.
That would
just
be
a
really
thought.
cute.
Just a thought. So yes.
I love it.
Oh, Lisa asked a great question. I don't have anything for sublimation. Can I still join? Lisa, I'm so glad you asked that question, because a lot of our people actually join our Maker's Gonna Sublimate course before purchasing anything. And that way you are able to go through our course, let us tell you which printers that we like, which ones, and you can see the process of setting up. That way you're purchasing the exact things that you need that are going to set you up for success later on down the road. So maybe you don't have anything for sublimation yet. Maybe that stuff is on your Christmas list because Christmas is coming up. Go ahead and get in on that sublimation course today while we have this discount.
Right.
Get familiarized with the process, and that way once your stuff comes in, it's bada bing, bada boom, you get it set up and you're sublimating in a day.
And you already know how to do it all.
You already know how to do it.
Yeah, I love it.
So, yes, if anyone, let's just, you know what?
Jump right into
Let's
it.
do it. If we ain't got nothing to lose.
Right, and we're going to show y'all the way to do it, just sublimation, and then Lauren will show you how to design it if you're wanting to just create like a printable sticker.
Okay, so we have pretty minimal. Do you know what I don't have?
What?
Where's the printer? I forgot to bring the printer in here.
Oh, I get you, girl.
You get me, girl? Okay,
Yeah.
good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over everything that we need, but first of all, can we go overhead and look at how stinking cute these are? Like, first of all, I'm obsessed. I think they are so cute. Now, I will say this. I think these look good. You wouldn't be able to tell a difference if you didn't know. These were done though with a different color setting. I'm gonna show you guys another color setting so you all can kind of see the difference between the two. But to start out with, we are starting with some blank coasters. Now, these are the Cricut brand coasters. These are Cricut brand infusible ink coasters that we have purchased. And these are already set up, ready for sublimation, so we don't have to add anything to it. Did you guys know that infusible ink is just Cricut's way of breaking into the sublimation world without actually releasing a printer? All it is pre-printed sublimation sheets that you purchase, and then you can cut out designs on your Cricut to leave like a blank area.
Yes.
But that is what the Cricut infusible ink is. It's just sublimation, pre-printed sublimation stuff. So anyway, that's what we are using. Those are the coasters. They are going to be linked down below. Now, we did have someone ask, what is the best sublimation printer to get started out with? So, Eastern Girls Crafting. This is for you specifically. It's going to depend, in my opinion, what you want to create. So, are you wanting to create oversized t-shirt designs, or are you just wanting to stick with smaller t-shirt designs and smaller items? If you're wanting to do smaller items that can be sublimated on 8.5 by 14 or smaller paper, I personally think an Epson EcoTank is a great conversion printer and gets you started at a cheaper price. Now, Epson does have a SureColor printer, and we'll go to the share screen. This one that we're using today is going to be the Epson SureColor. So what happened is Epson saw that people were purchasing their EcoTank printers and they were converting them to sublimation printers. So what did they do as a company? They decided, why not come out with a sublimation printer anyway? So you can purchase, this is the Epson SureColor F170 series. Now you are gonna pay a little bit more for a printer that looks exactly like an Epson ET25, I think it's like a 2850. Mm-hmm. So these are pretty much the exact same printers that the Epson EcoTank 2850 is gonna run you roughly, correct me if I'm wrong, Alicia, around $200, I think. I'll have Alicia look that up.
I'm looking.
This one, however, is gonna run you closer to $450.
The Epson ET 8550?
No, not the 8550, but keep that up because I want to talk about that one too.
Okay, what did you say?
The 2850.
Oh, shoot, okay.
The smaller one.
Please hold.
Please hold.
A 257, 269, Epson
Okay.
ET 2850.
Okay, so it's around 250-ish. This one is still gonna run you around 450. Now what about the 8550? So before we give you the price on the 8550, we'll go back to one. If you are wanting to do larger designs, then you need a printer that has wide format. Hands down, our favorite conversion wide format printer is the Epson ET 8550, which is a big boy, big old boy, but it's gonna cost you a little bit more.
These are $720 at Walmart right now.
Okay, so $720, like I said, gonna cost you a little bit more for the wide format printer, but you can get started. You can convert an Epson EcoTank smaller one for between $250, $300. That's just, those are the ones that I personally would go for. Lady Bear says, I love my Epson 15,000. We don't have one of those. I'm sure it's a great printer. I'm just speaking on the ones that we have and the ones that we have converted that we like. But listen, there are tons and tons of printers out there, okay? Now, I'm trying to understand what Carol was asking. Please share the answer to the question, all infusible ink blanks except sublimation process.
Yes.
Yes, infusible ink is just sublimation.
It's like another name for
It's
sublimation.
just Cricut's name that for some reason Cricut came out with infusible ink. Y'all, it's the same thing as sublimation. Same thing as sublimation.
Yes.
Okie doke. So, other than our printer and our coaster blanks, we do have to have a press. Now, you can do this if you don't have an actual clamshell press. You can do these with an easy press. It is not our preferred method, but it is an acceptable method. If you don't have a heat press, you can use an easy press. Just know whatever press you use for sublimation needs to cover your whole design, okay? Whole design. Other than your heat source and your printer, you are going to need sublimation paper. Our favorite sublimation paper is A-Sub. I will tell you guys, I have used lots of different brands. I have used Cosmo Ink, I have used Koala. There was another random brand from Amazon that we used. Listen, they all work, but still for some reason my favorite, I just keep going back to A-Sub. But use what you have. I just feel like A-Sub gives me, it's just a good thick paper, and it gets a really good color deposit on it, meaning that the transfer from the paper to the blank is, it just does so well.
Yeah.
Okay? Finally, you are going to need some butcher's paper. We'll talk more about what butcher's paper is and why it is important here in a little bit later. And then you're going to need possibly, you may not have to use a Teflon sheet, but you are going to need a pressing pillow. Now, why do you need a pressing pillow when it comes to sublimating or doing anything on ceramics? I'll go ahead and answer, and we'll go ahead and put this overhead so you can see we've used this to press this before. The reason that we do this is because ceramic takes a lot longer to press and to sublimate, and we're actually going to sublimate from the back side to the front. So you place your design down you'll put your coaster upside down on your design. You're going to tape it down, but when we go to press it, we're going to put our design, it will be design here, coaster here, Teflon sheet here, and then we press it from the top down, and what happens is it heats the ceramic from this side through to this side, and that's how we get that that's how we get it kind of wrapped around the side like that, so it doesn't show any white. But we'll get into that more here in just a few minutes. Now, I would love to answer your questions before we get started.
What's the best sublimation ink? I answered Kelly and said Hippo or StarCraft.
Actually, we have Cosmo ink in
our... Oh, yeah, Cosmo's ink.
We have Cosmo ink in our big boy. This one has Epson sublimation ink, and then our smaller one has Hippo. I don't think any of ours right now have StarCraft in it.
Okay, but we've used StarCraft.
But we have used StarCraft.
In our old wide format, we had StarCraft and it was really good.
Yes, but I mean, I like them all. I like the Cosmo ink. The thing with the Cosmo ink, if you get the ET8550, that Eco Tank, that printer alone has 6 tanks to fill instead of your standard 4. So a standard printer has 4 ink spots, meaning it has black, cyan, magenta, and yellow. The larger Epson ET8550 is a photo printer, meaning it has more depth of color when it prints. So there are 6 tanks, meaning it has cyan, magenta, yellow, black. Then it has a photo black, which is I don't know how you can get deeper than regular black, but it's a photo black. And then gray. So Cosmo at the time when we got the 8550 was the only brand that carried sublimation ink for all 6 of those colors, and you have to have ink in all 6 of those tanks for it to run properly. Right. So we have Cosmo in that one, but y'all, any of those, we have used all of those. They've all been great for us. Once you pick a brand, you do need to marry that brand because all brands are formulated different, meaning if you mix them, they may not mix well together. And it is kind of hard to purge your tanks and completely start over. Mm-hmm. So just know that once you start, you're kind of married to that in that specific printer until if you want to go through the purge process, by all means, you can do that if you want to change inks. We had another question above that I want to answer. Sadie, if you will scroll up. Jerry Mack says, what's up with people using printer paper? So, you technically can sublimate with printer paper if you are in a pinch. It has been done before. We have done it before. Is it going to give you the best color payout?
On textiles, it's not awful.
On textiles, it's better than it is on hard surfaces.
I don't even know.
Let's just say that.
I'm not trying to remember if we definitely did test it on hard surfaces, but I don't even remember if it took. I know for sure it did on textiles.
It does on textiles, and it's honestly one of the, we did it immediately after printing and then letting it sit.
Yeah, and it was just the same.
It was the same.
Yeah.
So textiles, if you're doing regular paper with textiles, you can get by with it in a pinch. I just don't know that I would trust it every single time.
Yeah.
Okay, Cheryl says, look up Crafting Besties, Google. Okay, we will do that. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead. Let me get my computer turned on and we will get started.
Who all in here has joined Passive Earners? We had our first coaching call yesterday. If you missed it, make sure to check the dashboard. It is in there for you guys to watch.
So exciting.
It was a really good first call. Really good.
I love that.
And we've got another one next week. So, yeah, I'm very excited. Also, tomorrow is our Christmas collection. Our masterclass. So if you are part of Passive Earners, you get to be a part of that if you're lifetime or yearly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So super fun.
Yay.
Yay.
Okay. So what we are going to do, I'm here on the Makers Gonna Learn website. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to grab our files that we are going to be using today. So if we go over here to cut files, once we get there, we're just going to search sugar cookies and they should, let me just type in sugar cookie and they should pop up. Not a problem. So we are going to be working in Canva. Oh, there they are.
And we have Christmas too.
But why am I, this is weird. Okay, we're logged in.
It's got our
logos over top of it.
Guess you'll have to see what happens when you click on into it.
Okay, so they're actually named. So this one is named Cat Cookie, Christmas Tree Cookie. So I'm assuming the other one is going to be, let's try Pumpkin Cookie and Ghost Cookie. Let me, before I do anything, I am logged in. These are just the only two showing over top of that. I don't know why.
Interesting.
We're just gonna go ahead and download both of those and then let's come up here and let's do Pumpkin Cookie. And we'll see if it pulls up there. So this is, oh, yep, it's doing the same thing. Download. And then we will do, what other ones do we have though? Do we have a snowman?
Yes.
I feel like we do. So we have these for both Halloween and Christmas. So whether, yeah, we do have a snowman.
Look how cute.
That is
You should do 2 Christmas ones and 2, since you have 2 Halloween ones.
So what other cookie, would we have a candy cane?
There's the tree. You could do the tree and the snowman. I think there might be a candy cane. The snowman's my favorite.
I do love the snowman.
Oh my gosh. I bet they've got the Halloween ones out at Food City. I'm going to go get some after
Okay, so
work.
we don't have candy cane, but we do have a Christmas tree that I have downloaded. So we'll just use Christmas tree and the candy cane one. So I'm just gonna make sure I unzip these files and that they are here. So Christmas, or snowman and Christmas tree, there they are. Beautiful. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop over to Canva and, oh, snowflake. Let's see if we have a snowflake one.
Oh, that'd be cute.
I don't know that we do, but we're gonna check it out.
Check it out.
I mean, there's this one, but it's not like a, it's not like the sugar cookies, like the Pillsbury sugar cookies, but there is this one that you could use if you wanted to. So we're just gonna do the Christmas tree and the snowman. And what we're gonna do now that we are here in Canva, did I call them, what did I call them? Did I call them Pillsbury or did I call them the cookies? They're Pillsbury cookies, but what did I just call them?
I thought you said, I don't know. I didn't hear you say anything else.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just like double, like I'm trying, reindeer was probably another one. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna, here in Canva, we're gonna put create a design. Now, when I'm doing sublimation, I always create my design on the size paper that I am printing. Why do I do this? The reason that I do this is because it helps me put into perspective how large it is and if it is going to fit on an 8.5 by 11 or an 8.5 by 14 piece of paper. So that's gonna be your preference. This is what I do, and this is, if I'm doing a 13 by 19, then I'll put it in there as a 13 by 19. This is so that when you go to print and you choose the paper size that you are printing on, everything stays the same size-wise, okay? So once I create a new design, come down here to custom size, and then I'm going to, you can see we use 8.5 by 11 all the time. If you don't see this under your recents, what you're gonna do on your units, you're gonna change it from pixels to inches, and you're just gonna type in 8.5 in the width, 11 in the height. Once we have done that, here it is on our screen. Now, if you wanted to do this through Cricut Design Space, y'all, you can do this through Cricut Design Space, and I will show you how to do that. It's just as simple and easy through Canva as it is Cricut Design Space. We'll do it through both. We will have time to do it through both. So let's just go ahead and go through the process. What I'm going to do now is I'm gonna come over here to my uploads, and what I'm going to do is I'm gonna bring in my Finder, and I'm going to drag and drop my Christmas tree, and then I'm going to drag and drop my snowman. It truly is that simple. Once I have done that, I'm going to add it to my canvas. We can add both of them to the canvas, and I'm going to exit out and I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, so here we are. We have it on our canvas, but what do we do next? So we have to size it according to the coasters that we have. So I'm just gonna pull both of these overhead right here, and I'm going to get a measurement. Now, normally your packaging is gonna tell you how large these are. We threw the packaging away. So these are 3.5 inch circle coasters. So what I want to do is just to be on the safe side, because this bounding box is going to give me dimensions that are not correct, okay? Because you can see, I can double click this, or I can hit this little crop icon, and I can crop it down to right next to the cookie if I want to. Y'all, that's your prerogative if you want to do that. It's not necessary, but it will help you get measurements, precise measurements.
Yeah.
What I would do in this case is I'm just gonna go ahead and add a circle And a tidbit of information, y'all, you can add a circle to your design simply by making sure the bounding box, or making sure that you have selected the page and hitting the letter C on your keyboard. Pops in a circle.
I love it.
I mean, can you even?
I can't even.
So after that, what you can do is when we zoom in, you can see our circle bounding box hits right on the edge. So it's going to give me my precise measurements, okay? So now what you can do is you can size it up to where it says 3.5, and now you can see I have 3.5 by 3.5, meaning I have a 3.5-inch circle. And now what you can do is you can bring these, you can layer them either in front or behind, whichever one you feel more comfortable with, and we can size these cookies to the exact measurements of that 3.5-inch circle. I mean, look at that. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring this one over, bringing it to front, and we are just going to make sure that this also fits the 3.5-inch circle. Now, if you wanted to, you could even make it a little larger than 3.5 inches if you want it. So for example, let's bring this one to the front. We can see that there's a little bit of overhang on the Christmas tree one. Y'all, that is perfectly fine. All that's gonna mean is that we'll just have a little bit of wiggle room, okay? So I would, if you don't, I mean, I don't know, what are your thoughts, Alicia? Would you, if you were sublimating this, would you give a little bit of extra wiggle room?
Always.
Always give some wiggle room.
Yeah.
I think that's a good rule of thumb, especially with this, because the design kind of has that edge, like it gives us that area to play around with for the wiggle room. So, oh, Carol said, what is the keyboard shortcut for bring to front? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so used to just designing myself that I forgot to tell you. So the keyboard shortcut for bringing things forwards and backwards, and I'll go over here to position so that I can show you, okay? You can do this from your position tab here, or you can see it says arrange front to front, backwards to back, or you can go to your layers, and fun fact, you can move it up, move it down, move it to the bottom. You can drag and drop these. Now, my favorite way of doing it is through the shortcut keys, which is, if you are on a Mac, Command right bracket will send it to the front. That one's already to the front. And then left bracket with Command for Windows, Control for PC. So Control left bracket sends to back, Control right bracket sends to front for Windows, and then it's just the same thing with Command for Mac. It's Command left bracket sends it. Why is it not going back anymore? What if I want it down there? I guess it's because it's not overlapping. So if they're all overlapping, then it will go forward, backwards, forward, backwards. And that is Command or Control, right bracket forward, left bracket backwards.
Those are shortcut keys I use all the time.
Without thinking.
The send to back one, all day. All day I do it.
Without thinking.
Yeah.
Yes. Brian says, if you have a lot of layers, that layers panel is everything. Truly it is if you're trying to design and make sure everything fits properly. I think that it is. So we're just gonna make sure that we have just a little bit more wiggle room for our little snowman guy. Beautiful, I think that's perfect. So now, we're just gonna delete this. This is ready to send to printer. Now, Irma, if you were here earlier, you heard me say that I was gonna show you how to do it in Design Space. So let's go ahead and show you guys how to do it in Design Space, and then we will print from one or the other. So what you're gonna do if you want to do this in Design Space, of course, we are going to open up Design Space. We're gonna go to Home, we'll hit New Project, yes. All you're gonna do with Design Space, we are going to upload. You will need to upload image. Pretty much the same process with Design Space. We're bringing in our Finder. We're gonna drag and drop our snowman here. We're gonna continue, upload. This guy comes in huge. Now all we have to do is we'll do 3.6, give us some wiggle room there. And then same thing, we're gonna go to upload image, bring in our Finder. Our Christmas tree is next, drag and drop. Come back over to Design Space. It's okay, Irma, no big deal. I'm glad you asked to remind me. So we're just gonna upload these. Once again, that's gonna come in huge. We're gonna resize that to 3.6. Always make sure that your size icon is locked. Otherwise, it's not going to shrink it down in the correct aspect. So once we've done that, we can hit enter. And y'all, either way, we're ready to go. Now, if you don't have a printer that automatically mirrors itself, we are using a printer, the Epson SureColor F170, because it is a sublimation printer, is already made to where it automatically mirrors everything. And ask me how I know. Because when we first got this thing, I printed, how many do you think I printed? 10?
Yeah, before we were like, wait,
and
there's something going on.
I kept mirroring the design, but it would come out the correct way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Because I had never worked with an actual sublimation printer. I had only ever worked with conversion printers. Mm-hmm. So if you have a converted printer, you can flip the design in the print dialog, where you pull it up and you have your color controls. You can flip your design there. If you want to go ahead and mirror it on your canvas, you can do so. That way you don't have to remember it going forward. If you do that, all you're gonna do in Design Space, we will select it from flip. You're going to flip it horizontally. But y'all, these are pretty symmetrical shapes, so it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is if you use text on one of these, if you decide to add text, that's when it's gonna matter to mirror your design. So this one, even if I flipped it, all it's gonna do is it's gonna put this Christmas ornament on this side.
Yeah.
So it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You can mirror it if you want, but it's not necessary. Now, if you're working from Design Space, what you're gonna do now is you're gonna go to Make It. We won't save. Oh, first of all, these are PNGs that come in multiple layers, so we do need to flatten, and you do need to flatten. So once we have flattened, we can now go to Make It, and you can see that it pulls it in on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that you can now print from Design Space. Now, we're gonna go back to Canva, and we're just going to print from Canva. Either one, y'all, is perfectly fine. It truly doesn't matter. I'm just gonna separate these out a little bit so we have some wiggle room. Now, if you want to know how to flip a design in Canva, all you have to do is select the design that you want, and then up here at this top toolbar, hit flip, and you'll just flip horizontal. That's all you have to do to flip in Canva if you wanna go ahead and flip it before you send it to the printer, okay?
If you add words, tell them how to do it if you add words. Because you got to save it.
Oh, God.
Well, just tell them if you have words.
Yeah, okay.
You can't just flip your words in Canva for whatever reason.
For whatever reason, you cannot mirror your text in Canva. So what you have to do if you are adding text, you will need to add your text first. I would even suggest if you're adding it to one design, I would suggest putting each design on a separate page, and then once you have re-uploaded them, put them both on the same page. So what you would need to do if you are adding text, and let's just go ahead and we'll take this and we'll put this one down here. Okay, so let's just say we're gonna add text to this. What you will need to do, also, you can add text by coming over here to text and add text box. Another fun fact, this one is also one of the most used shortcut keys, is adding a text box to my design. By literally clicking the page, you can tell my page is clicked because the purple bounding box is around the whole page. All you have to do to add a text box is hit the letter T. Mm-hmm. That right there, it does something. It warms my soul.
That's Lauren's favorite.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite. So maybe you want to put, Christmas tree. I don't know. We're just playing around. Oh, Christmas man.
Oh, Christmas
tree. Oh, Christmas tree. Which this one is going to be, I don't know that I would add text to these designs because they're going to be so small.
And they're supposed to look like cookies.
They are supposed to look like cookies. But let's just say for the sake of letting
Learning.
you guys know, learning how to do this, if we wanted to, let's say, add text, and y'all know me, I'm not just going to add text and make it look crazy. It's going to have to look semi-good.
Yeah.
I can't just do it.
You can't just slap it on there.
And I don't like that text. So let's find us don't like that one either for some reason. Nope, don't like that one either.
Claire.
Fine, I guess.
We're not going to commit to that anyways.
I'm not committing to this. First of all, it's not a true commitment. I have problems with commitment anyway. Let's just say for the sake of it, you wanted to add text to it, okay? So what you're gonna do, you'll add your text. This one, in my opinion, I don't like it, y'all. I really don't like it. It's getting on my nerves, but this is just for the sake of this. Okay, share. What you're gonna do is you're gonna come up here to share. You're gonna download. You need to download this as a PNG. We don't want all pages. I would do this as 2 separate pages because I want this one separate from my snowman. So now what I can do is I can download it as a PNG. If you have Canva Pro, you need to click transparent background, okay? You need to remove this background. Once you have clicked the transparent background, we are going to select download. It's going to download as a PNG and it's going to open up. It will do it in just a second, maybe. Normally it does. There it is. Now all we have to do is come back over here to our uploads. I'm going to pull my Finder back in again. This one was Oh Christmas Tree, so here it is. Pop this in. And now, because it is a file, one file together, you can see here, I don't really like how it takes the whole bounding box anyway. What happens when you do that? So you can see, and I'll take you to the layers panel so you can see. On this layers panel over here, you still have your Christmas tree and your text are 2 separate layers, but by downloading them as a PNG together, it makes it 1 layer here and it turns it into an image. So you can't flip. There is nowhere up here where you can flip your text, but because it is 1 image, we can now flip the image and flip it horizontally so that it is in reverse and you can print it with the text in reverse.
Beautiful.
Okay? That's how you're gonna do that. But we're gonna delete this and we're gonna delete this and we're gonna move this guy back up to here and put him right there. Okay? So now we are ready to download this and send it to our printer. Why do you go back and forth from Canva to Design Space? I was just showing everyone here, if you want to do this in Design Space, you can do it in Design Space. If you want to do it in Canva, you can do it in Canva. There really isn't a difference for this project specifically. I just wanted to make sure that we all knew exactly what we were doing and nobody was confused. I was giving you 2 separate options so that you can choose which one works best for you.
Yes.
Love it. So now that we have these sized and on our page the way that they need to be, we're gonna go to share. Once again, we're gonna download these. We're just gonna download it as a PNG and you actually don't have to do a transparent background for this one. We can leave it as is because it's going to print on a white 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So it's not that big of a deal. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select download. That is going to download, and once that downloads, we can double click and open that up. And now I'm selecting Command P to print this page. I'm changing my printer from the ET8550 to the Epson SureColor F170 that we are working with today. I'm gonna make sure the printer is on first and make sure we got some paper loaded in there. We do. Fun fact, y'all, we don't even have A-Sub paper loaded into this printer right now. We have both Hippo brand and Cosmo ink, and we're gonna go with it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna use what we got. Use what we got. Did we just say the same thing?
I was just copying you.
Okay.
Have you guys seen that girl on TikTok that she copies everything her mom says, and it's hilarious?
I've not seen that.
She will copy everything. Her mom is such a good sport, but it is like literally the funniest. Sadie, have you seen her? I'm gonna have to send them to you guys. I could watch her TikToks all day. Her mom will start talking and she'll be like, and she does everything she says. It's so freaking funny. I love it.
Okay, oh, thank God. Before we go to print, I forgot to turn on my heat press. So we may be answering quite a few questions.
So what do you put, what's the heat?
That's what I was getting to.
Oh,
that's okay.
Sorry.
Because our heat press for ceramics, you must do it at 400 degrees or higher. And y'all, you are going to lose it when you hear how long we sublimate ceramics. It's a long time.
Yeah.
It's like 4 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes.
That's cray, because everything else normally like less temp for like 60 seconds. Like
yeah. So
tops.
Our sweet spot with sublimation is going to live. The actual sublimation process cannot happen below a certain temperature. Like your temperature has to get up to, it has to be, I think it's like above 360 for the sublimation process to happen. 360 in my opinion is pushing it, like it's pretty low in my opinion. Sweet spot for sublimation is going to live anywhere between 380-ish to 390, and 390 is pushing it for me. I'm thinking I normally do 380 to 385 if I don't see a time and temperature on the material that or the blank that I'm using.
Right.
So with ceramics, you have to have a much higher temperature because ceramics are made to withstand higher heat, and we're doing a longer time because, like I said earlier, what we are doing is we're heating it from the back, and the heat is going all the way from the back to the front and still sublimating. It's a crazy process. And it's a crazy process.
So it's got to go through lots of layers.
Now, Michelle asked, is this something that could be done in a sublimation oven? So for those that are curious about a sublimation oven, if you have a way to add pressure to your design and your blank, then it could possibly be done in a sublimation oven. Maybe you set something on top. If you had a rack in your sublimation oven and you still use like a pillow, placed it in there, and used something that is oven safe to add pressure.
I don't know why I'm thinking
I think it would work if that's the only heat source that you have. But for these, we've only ever done them in a press. I can't say with confidence that it's going to work flawlessly.
Like without ghosting.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't say that it will be a flawless result, but it is something to possibly try. Okay. Yeah. Sherry says, I've tried, but even with weights, I couldn't get enough pressure. So that is honestly the biggest thing with this is it does need to have pressure. The good thing with a sublimation oven, if you're doing tumblers or cups, is you can have you can have these silicone wraps, and I'll pull one out. This is what makes the sublimation oven work with cups and tumblers, and that is either the silicone wraps or shrink wrap, because that is what adds the pressure to your blank and your design. So for those of you that are here and don't really understand maybe what sublimation is, you must have pressure plus the heat. The pressure is such a big part of this. The pressure is such a big part of this.
If you get heat without pressure, it gives ghosting. Pressure without heat, you're gonna get nothing.
Right. I mean, you'll get nothing.
Yeah.
So anywho, we'll go back to our share screen. We do have this with our SureColor F170 series. Now, I'm going to go ahead and scale this to 100. Sometimes if I see that it says scale to fit and it says 97, like that 3% just throws me off, and I just scale it to 100%. And then I'm gonna go to where it says preview and come down to color matching. And here is where I really want to show you the difference, especially for our friends who may have an Epson SureColor F170. So if you want the colors that are on the screen, you need to turn Epson color controls off and turn on color sync. Now, I've left it at the general purpose rigid because this is a rigid surface that we are applying it to. If you are doing this on textiles, you can change it to textiles if you want to. These were automatically loaded in to this for this printer specifically. You can look at other color profiles if you want to, but y'all, I normally just use, if I do color sync, I either use automatic or I use rigid for hard surfaces, textiles for clothing. So I'm just gonna keep it at rigid. Here we go. And then we are gonna go to print.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
And honestly, y'all, this is like a very detailed and sort of roundabout way like to do things, because Lauren showed you multiple ways to do this, but like you could be pumping these out. Like you could be making so many.
I could have put 4 on a sheet or more, and I could be pressing with this size heat press. Easily, I could press like with 6. A bigger pressing pillar. Oh. Pillow. Okay. I let the hillbilly come out there for a second. Whoopsie daisy. Didn't mean to do that.
She slipped right on out.
Sometimes I can't control my hillbilly, guys. Don't. Can you tell I'm red right now?
That's hilarious.
I'm sorry.
I actually love it.
So this is how light. Let me just go ahead and print one again with the, I'm just curious at this point, with the Epson color controls. So because I want you guys to see the difference. So this looks like it's not gonna come out right, but I promise you it will. I promise you it will. Now, oh, this is still only at 245 degrees.
Lordy day.
Yeah, we got some time. So Kelly asked, why do you do it upside down? The reason that we are doing the ceramics upside down, first of all, if you do ceramics this way onto the pressing plate, what's gonna happen is your design is gonna burn before it fully gets on there because we have to do it at such a high heat. The second reason that we do it upside down is because, like I said, ceramics were made to be in an oven. They are made to withstand the really high temperatures. So what happens is the heat will move through the ceramic to this side. This pressing pillow allows the design to be hugged up against the corners where it doesn't hug if it's this way, because you can't do pressing pillow on top. The heat's not gonna move through that pressing pillow like it does the ceramic. So that's why we do it upside down.
It's like interesting to me because I feel like in my brain, the heat would transfer through the pressing pillow better than it would through the ceramic.
I would think so too,
but I guess because it's Teflon.
I've tried it so many different ways, and I've tried it both ways, and I just think that doing it upside down like that works the best.
Yeah.
Works the best. Yes. So while we're waiting on that to heat up, here is the difference between Epson color controls and color sync. So just looking at it from here, it looks like this one is going to be the right color. But this, using the color controls, is what made these guys, like I said, they look good, but they look a little more like a burnt cookie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just a little toasty.
Just a little toasty cookie. Not even a burnt, it's not a burnt cookie, it's just a toasty cookie.
Toasty cookie.
It's a little toasty cookie. So that's how they're gonna turn out. I'm going to do the ones today with this one so you can see the difference in the Epson color control over here and the Epson color sync here, so that you all can determine which one that you like best and go from there. Now, Cheryl asked, do you use laminating sheets? No, with these, actually, you don't have to use laminating sheets because these are infusible ink Coasters, I'm getting tickled at myself again over saying pillar.
Pillar over here.
Y'all, I'm just like my mom. My mom gets so tickled at herself so many times. Last night, I'm going to tell y'all while this is heating up, oh, this is counting down. I don't need it to count down. I just need it to heat up. Wow, that's hot. We're just going to leave it open. It's at almost at 300, so we're getting closer. Anyway, I'm going to tell one of my mom last night. She had her AirPods in listening to a book, an audio book, and my sister sent a text message to our family group chat, and she typed out, ha 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 ha. Well, Siri read the text to my mom, and my mom starts horse laughing, and me and Asher turn around, and I kid you not, this woman laughed at herself for 5 minutes before she could tell me what she was laughing at. And she said, Siri just read that message to me, and Siri said, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. And she got so tickled that she laughed and she was laughing. I got a video of her 15 minutes after this happened. She was still standing. First of all, my mom's an old school. She stands at our stove and smokes. Y'all, don't come at me. She bought an industrial.
It's iconic, honestly.
She literally bought an industrial stove hood so that she could do it, and
so
nobody, people that walk in our house do not know. Yeah. Anyway, she's old school. That's such
a Southern thing to do.
It is a Southern thing to do. Yeah. Also, when the kitchen is closed, all the lights are off except the stove light.
Yes.
Anyway.
Is that Southern?
Yes.
Oh, I just thought everybody did that.
No, not everybody do that.
Oh, okay.
Not everybody does that. Anyway, she got tickled at herself, and I do the same thing. I will think about how stupid I am sometimes, and I just get tickled at myself. I can't help it.
Oh, that's so funny.
I'm going to tell him while this is still heating up, I'll tell another one on myself this morning too. I was getting chili out to bring, and I was telling my mom a story, and I was telling her, and I had the lid of the chili on the to-go thing, and I was just talking, and I dumped 2 spoonfuls on top of the lid, and it wasn't even going in the bowl, and she just looked at me. She was standing there looking at me like this. And then she was like,
was it on it the right way, or was it like flipped
No,
up?
it was on it the right way. She just said, ha ha, ha ha. I was like, goodness gracious, Jill. Anyway, sorry.
That's freaking funny.
Tangent. We were just waiting for this to heat up. We all needed a good laugh.
Oh.
Who doesn't need a good laugh?
Oh,
so
man.
Anyway.
That's a good story.
So what we're gonna do now is we're just cutting out around our design. You don't have to if you don't want to. We could really do it individually or do it both at the same time if you have a pressing pillow large enough. So I'm placing my coaster. This is the side that we're gonna sublimate on, okay? And I'm gonna flip it upside down. I'm gonna grab some heat tape. That was one thing that I forgot to tell you guys to get that we do need.
Heat tape. Is it not in there?
I might be. No, it's right here. It's right behind the press.
Okay.
JK. And I think I'm going to get a bigger pressing pillow because I think I'm going to press both of these at the same time. So this is just big enough to do the one. I'm just going to do them both at the same time. That way we have both of them. Cut the excess around here really quickly.
I need to know what everyone's being for Halloween this year. I'm being Anna from Frozen.
You are going to be Anna. I remember
because
that.
Ruby wants to be Elsa. Actually, we've been hashing it out this week. She's like, I'm going to be Anna. And I was like, I already ordered my stuff off Shein. So you can't. I'm like, we can't both be Anna. It's like, what is that scene in Mean Girls? Why do I feel like I quote Mean Girls all the time? And she's like, everyone should just stab Caesar. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's how we were having this conversation. But anyways, Ruby's going to be Elsa. Georgie's going to be the reindeer because there's no cute Olaf costumes. And I think she'd be a really cute reindeer. So that's what we're being. And then Trey's going to be Kristoff.
I just think that's going to be so cute.
That's my man.
Somebody said that the kitchen light is definitely a Southern thing. I remember somebody just commented when they moved from Tennessee to Oregon that people thought they were crazy.
Oh yeah.
The kitchen's closed when the light's on.
Listen, our kitchen light don't never go off. I don't even know how that light bulb still works. I ain't never changed that light bulb in my life. Tell me if you've ever changed a light bulb in your stove. Nobody.
I had to one time.
Have you one time in your whole 32 years of life? Nobody. You ain't never changed it except for one time.
Very true.
It's like the magic. It's like a magic light bulb.
Okay. So we are finally heated up to 400 degrees. I'm placing my pressing pillow down first. Now I do like to give this, actually that's too, the pressure is too much right now. There we go. I do like to give my pressing pillow a little bit of a press because it just heats it. It heats that pressing pillow up a little bit. I feel like, call me crazy, I just feel like I get a better result. Not very long, just a few seconds.
Just toast it, lightly toasted.
It's very toasty. Don't touch it like I did. So now what we're doing, once again, let's go overhead. This is our sandwich. We have our design here, coaster upside down, laying it on our pressing pillow here, and then I'm going to grab some butcher's paper just to lay over top of it because we do have a little bit of an overhang and I don't want it to get on top of that, so we're just gonna cover it like this. And y'all, we're pressing this at 400 degrees for 240 seconds, which is 4 minutes. So
you got it set to 240 seconds?
I do have it set to 240 seconds.
Okay. We've got lots of good Halloween costumes. You guys are telling me like someone's 16-year-old daughter is going to be Coraline. I'm obsessed with Coraline.
Oh my God, me too.
It's so good. That's going to be such a sick costume. I can't wait to see that.
I know.
Sin says she has a really good Medusa costume.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I have no clue. I have not been to Goodwill, Carm, the thrift store to find yet. That is the only place that I will purchase my Halloween costume is from Goodwill or the thrift store, and I will make it. Last year I was Ron Burgundy, my sister was Veronica Corningstone, and Asher was Brick Tamlin from Anchorman.
And it was
Should
iconic.
I have dressed my 9-year-old as a character from Anchorman? Probably not. Did I do it anyway? Absolutely. Did he win the Halloween costume contest? Yes, he did. But I think people thought he was Dwight Schrute.
Did they?
I think that people thought he was Dwight Schrute.
Did you get first? So 2 years ago, Lauren was Hulk Hogan, and we went to a Halloween
1907 we went to a Halloween party at our local brewery here.
Did you win?
No, I got third, remember? Or did I get second? Dude, the person who won had a very, very good costume.
Yes.
They had a very good costume.
Yeah, that's true.
But
oh, look, I found it. Here.
Okay, here.
That's in our messages from.
I'll show you guys what we were last year. Can they see that, Sadie? Yeah. Okay, this is what me and Asher and my sister were last year. This was whipped together from the thrift store in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, they probably still smelled like the people.
They did. They didn't get washed. They didn't get washed. They didn't. Oh, that's the fun, though.
Do you still have that wig?
Yes, I keep everything, all of our Halloween costumes. The year before that, I was Willy Wonka and Asher was an Oompa Loompa. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
The year before that, like I said, I was Willy Wonka. Asher was an Oompa Loompa. I kept that costume. I keep all of my costumes in a box so that if I ever want to reuse them, they're there. I still have my Hulk Hogan one too. In a box. You? And Asher was Macho Man Randy Savage that year.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one too.
I love it.
That was a good one. Okay, we're down to 75 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my gloves on because y'all, these things are hot.
This is like pulling something out of the oven with barehanded after you cooked it. So you definitely don't want to do that.
We don't do that. We don't do that.
Does anyone have any questions regarding the sublimation course or this process that Lauren taught you guys today? We would love to answer questions in the chat.
Yes.
Please let us know.
Let us know. I think so. We dressed up as this literally when Asher was not his first Halloween. It would have been his second Halloween. So he wasn't 2. August, yes. So his first Halloween, he was like 2 months.
Yeah.
His second Halloween, he was just over a year old. But my dad's favorite movie, and my whole family's favorite movie, let's just preface this, my whole family's favorite movie is Joe Dirt. Period, point blank.
It's a solid movie.
It's a solid movie. And we quote it all the time. Well, I had not let Asher watch Joe Dirt until this week.
This week?
Once again, should I have let my 10-year-old son? I don't know. But it's a family tradition at this point. Well, his second Halloween, we all dressed up as a family, and I dressed him up as baby Joe Dirt, but he wouldn't wear his wig, and I was Kicking Wing.
Oh my God.
And so my dad ended up putting on the wig, and my sister was Brandy, and he wants to be Joe Dirt this year, so that might be a possibility, and I might be Robbie, which I've already dressed up as Robbie. Back in high school, me and my sister dressed up as Joe Dirt and Robbie, and we had our fight in front of the school, and we won that year too.
That is so funny.
That's the thing is, I feel like I put my all into
but like
my
has
persona.
to be last minute. Has to be last minute. And Lauren fully commits to her character. Like, Lauren was not in the bar with us that night. It was only Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan was who was in the bar that night. It wasn't Lauren. She was not around.
She wasn't there.
Okay, y'all, here's our cookies.
How cute. I love it.
And here you can see the difference. And for some reason, I feel like these lie a little green.
They look a little crispy?
No, I actually kind of think I like the crispier ones better. There they are side by side. Let me just pull them out over here. Yeah, I kind of think I like the crispier ones better.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think I would, but I do think I do.
Yeah.
Let me show you. I'll bring them over here, and then we'll come back and answer questions.
Denise, you can reuse butcher's paper, but it's a risk you got to be willing to take because it can retransfer onto things.
What do you think?
Oh, this is very green.
I know.
Is it the color, the way it printed?
I don't think so.
Are these supposed to be the same greens?
I think so. Similar.
Yeah, I like the burnt one better.
So, like I said, I kind of like these better. We just hadn't tested the Color Sync. I don't know if it translates as well on your all's end. Also, I shouldn't be doing this because this is still hot. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I don't know if it translates as well. Sadie, you can confirm or deny. This right here is giving green for some reason. It's giving green, so I kind of like this more well done cookie better.
Yeah.
So if you do have a Sure Color F170, leave it on Epson color controls and not Color Sync.
Yeah. Now your butcher's paper with this specific project is going to look burnt.
It is going to be burnt
because it's in there for so long and
so
it's so hot.
I wouldn't reuse this butcher's paper.
Right, because it's too crispy. Yeah,
it's too crispy.
And y'all, they will catch on fire sometimes. No, our heat press, we haven't done it, but in a convection oven,
I did catch it on fire in the convection oven. Yes, I did.
Sure enough.
Sure enough, shawty.
Sure enough, shawty.
So it really is as simple as that. Now, if you do not want to purchase the actual infusible ink coasters, you can do this. I did have somebody ask earlier, and I said we weren't using laminating sheets on these because we don't have to. Because these are already set up. They're sublimation ready coasters. That's the easiest way to get to this process, especially if you are gonna use them as coasters and put water and wet surfaces, wet things on top of it. I think just go ahead and purchase the sublimation ready coasters. But if you want to do this with regular tile, regular ceramic tile, you can do this with regular ceramic tile. You just have to add a laminating sheet to that tile. There is a process. We have a video on it where we did it as a Christmas ornament. So it can be done, but if I'm using this for coasters that are going to be used, I'm gonna put water and stuff on top of it, maybe get some water on it, I would for sure use sublimation ready coasters, okay? Can you use sublimation blanks with water slide and it will stick? You should be able to. It shouldn't affect a water slide decal at all.
But sublimation blanks are more expensive.
They are a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
So just know that. Oh, I got it off and it's not that hot now. So yeah, if you all have any questions, I would love to answer your questions.
Yes.
Once again, in case you didn't know, we are running a sale on our sublimation course.
Yes.
$40 off. This is going to be the cheapest that you're ever going to see it. Make sure you use code SUBLIMATE if you thought that we gave you a lot of information now. Just imagine how much we give you inside the course. So definitely click that link, check it out if you don't already have the Maker's Gonna Sublimate course. We will walk you through from being a sublimation novice all the way to a sublimation pro. And I'm telling you all, the amount of blanks that you're gonna save by not messing up your sublimation designs, I couldn't tell you how many license plates, mugs, tumblers that we have destroyed and not been able to use and had to throw away. Hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Hundreds of dollars. I know for a fact when we were building this course, which we built this course 2 or 3 years ago, we have updated it quite a few times since then. This is a one-time purchase. If you purchase it today, you are going to get those updates if we update it in the future, which normally we do like to do a quick refresh and update on all of our courses every so often. But when we were first building this course, Tanner and Courtney, I saw them go through 2 boxes full of Cricut mugs that had 10 or more in a box.
Yeah.
Trying to get the color profiles right. I personally, when I was trying to get the color profiles right for the Epson ET8550, went through every extra blank we had in here. I think I went through like 7 or 8 license plates, like doing little images, like different print settings over and over, on top of having to go out and get more blanks to test more blanks at Hobby Lobby.
Right.
So anyway, lots of money has gone into testing with this course, and I promise you're going to get all the value out of it.
Jerry's asking, would you warm an aluminum item first before sublimation?
I would not, just because the aluminum items are so thin. It does not take a lot of heat to really sublimate on those. I would not warm them. You could possibly warm the bottom of your heat press, but I would not warm the item, because if you warm the item, then you're gonna have to pull it out and tape it. It's gonna be hot. You're gonna have to wear your gloves, and trying to tape something on with those gloves is a no thank you for me.
Yeah.
I would just tape it on. It's a hard pass. I would tape it on before I even pressed it, because like I said, those aluminum like signs are not very hard. I will say, if you're using aluminum signs, like Dollar Tree has some really cute tin aluminum signs. You can sublimate on those, but you do have to add. Now, some places may have sublimation ready aluminum signs, I don't know. But if you get it from like the Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby, you will need to add a laminating sheet on top of it. And it just turns out better if it's dark or black.
Yeah.
Not light colors on aluminum. Unless it's white.
Yeah.
Unless it's like white, like a license plate is aluminum.
Right, right. But it's got white. It's got a white coating on it.
Yes.
India's asking what printer we're using. Today we're using the Epson SureColor 2850.
No, Epson SureColor F170.
Cool.
F170. If you're
we were talking about the ego tank and my numbers got mixed up.
Now, if you're looking to upgrade your printer, I don't know that, like, would this be an upgrade from a converted printer? Possibly, yes. But you're not going to be able to print any larger. If you're wanting a larger printer, I personally would suggest the Epson EcoTank 8550. It is a photo printer, meaning you get a lot more of a range of colors. But because you get a larger range of colors, you do have to get those color controls right, which we have done for you in the sublimation course, because y'all, some of those colors were coming out. There was a specific picture that I was printing of me and Asher, and there were, half of the time I would come out looking like a lobster. Half the time my skin would look green. Took me quite a while to get those color profiles right, but once they're right and they're good.
Yes.
That's just my personal opinion.
Exactly.
Opinion.
All right, well, we will be back not tomorrow, it's Wednesday.
We will be back with you if you are not part of Passive Earners. If you are part of Passive Earners, lifetime or yearly, We will see you guys tomorrow at our Christmas collection masterclass. We're going to be creating a Christmas collection with you guys. But if you are not part of Passive Earners, then we will see you back here on the channel next week.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.